can see, it's just a recap of the structure of the active and passive voice. In case of the active voice, subject comes first, then comes the verb, and then comes the object. In case of the passive voice, object, then verb, and then the subject. Let's take an example of the simple past tense. In the active voice, the sentence is Amna ate an apple. And the passive of this sentence is an apple was eaten by Amna. I hope it's clear. So let's do a little practice of the active and passive voice using the simple past tense. She told me a joke. It's an active voice sentence. And here, told is the simple past tense verb. So here, told, I said earlier, is the verb of the simple past tense. When we transform the sentence into the passive voice, it becomes a joke was told to me by her. This is the passive voice. Now see an example of the past continuous tense. The doctor was checking the blood pressure. We know that we use was or were with the gerund in case of the past continuous tense. This is an active voice sentence. The doctor was checking the blood pressure. And the passive of this sentence is the blood pressure, because we know that the object of the active sentence takes the place of the subject in case of the passive voice. So here the object was blood pressure. That becomes the subject in the passive voice. The blood pressure was being checked by the doctor. And the verb of the active voice, was checking, changes into was being checked. In case of passive voice sentences, we always use the past participle or the third form of the verb. So I repeat, for making passive sentences, keep one point that is really important in your minds, that we use the past participle or the third form of the verb in the passive voice. So with was being, we use checked, the third form of the verb. And it is the formation that you can see the blood pressure was being checked by the doctor. A passive voice sentence. So now let's see how to make sentences of active or passive voice using the past perfect tense. The example is, she had eaten several cupcakes. Had eaten is the verb in the active voice. We know that in the past perfect tense, we use had in all cases with he, she, it, I, we, you, they. We use had and the third form of the verb. So here the passive is, several cupcakes had been eaten by her. So you just see how the change has taken place. Earlier in the active sentence, we had the verb had eaten, whereas in the case of the passive, had eaten is replaced by had been eaten. Again, the third form of the verb is used in the passive voice. I hope things are quite clear. Now comes the past perfect continuous. But as I told you earlier, that according to the traditional grammar rule, the past perfect continuous tense is not used at all because it's not commonly